Welcome back to the channel, Glitter Witches. Today I wanted to talk about letting go of anger, forgiveness, and grudges. Now, this is something I've been trying to work on, and I don't know if anybody else has struggled with this, but it's been hard in certain situations to let go of anger and let go of resentment. And I think I wanted to talk about it just because I want to see how other people cope and how other people deal with the breaking down of friendships and relationships, and how do you move on when you may not be really ready to move on, holding on to the grudges and the pain and the sadness, and you know what I mean, holding on to that. And I had this thought recently of, I feel like that kind of anger, the sadness is eating away at me, not at the person who I feel it towards. So it's what is the point in holding on to this anymore? What's the point in holding on to the pain and the sadness and the obsession, and just let it go? Just let it go.
When you say obsession, what do you mean by obsession?
When I say obsession, I mean, I feel like when you have a grudge against somebody, you have to somewhat be obsessive about either the person or the situation, because in order to hold a grudge, you have to constantly be aware of the situation.
They're taking up space in your mind rent-free.
Correct.
Is what you're saying.
So it's like you're holding that grudge or that anger, whether it's to bring them to justice or the fact that you don't understand the situation, or there's some sort of miscommunication, that grudge just eats away at you. Does it really even have an effect on the other person?
I think the biggest key component to that whole scenario is time. Because you'll find, think back to childhood friends that you no longer speak to. Do you still have a grudge on them?
Well, my longest friend's dead, so no. She's dead. But no, no.
But before she died, you had just moved on. Your life took different changes and you had just moved on.
Yes, but there wasn't a fallout. You know what I mean? I'm talking about when there's a fallout, or just you drop off the face of the earth.
Or there's an argument or a fight.
Or there's an argument or a fight, and it doesn't end in a positive way. I'm the type of person where it bothers me because I like to know where people are coming from, and when I feel like I don't, it bothers me.
Okay, yeah.
And I don't know that that's necessarily a grudge. I don't think that's a grudge, but I don't know what that is. But this past few months, really, I've really tried to get to a place where I just try to let stuff go that's not productive.
Mm-hmm.
And I think part of that is just getting more honest in the craft, and being more honest about who I am as a practitioner of magic, and it kind of makes me feel more honest with myself as a person, how I live my day-to-day life.
So let me ask you this, though. When you have a falling out or an argument with someone who you realize is no longer going to serve you as a friend or being a part of your inner circle, because they've done, let's just say for conversation's sake, they've done something against you or something wrong to you that they were clearly in the wrong. You may not have been 100% in the right, but they were clearly just did you wrong. Do you feel that it's beneficial for you to do magic on them?
Okay, when you say do magic on them, what do you mean do magic on them? Are we talking hexing,
yes,
crossing
or binding them away from you, or pushing? I've done a go far, far away spell, which worked out.
See, here's my thing. I feel especially in today's culture, especially with TikTok, everyone's trying to hex everyone.
Yeah.
I don't like you, we disagree, I'm hexing you, hex the fucking moon, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, speaking of the moon, it's really, really
it's
beautiful.
gorgeous
Do you see
out
that?
tonight, yeah.
We're on my balcony,
Yeah.
we have the French doors open, and
we have the herbs behind us,
yes.
the fresh garden.
Yeah.
I don't think that's should be the first line of defense, or the first thing that you do. I think trying to push people away magically, I think is okay, but for me it's more I always have that desire to understand somebody, and when I'm not allowed to have that, that bothers me.
Okay.
If we're friends and then it just falls off the face of the earth.
How would you feel if I was just you know what, Justin, I'm done with you?
I would want an explanation of why.
And if I gave you one?
It would make me feel better even if I didn't understand it.
So you're saying your problem lies when you don't get a reason?
Yes, like I had a friend in my personal life who we were really good friends, and after my son died, we just stopped talking altogether. And it was kind of awkward, and she just kind of ignored the situation. I never understood, like, I felt like she cut me out, and I never understood why. Like, what was happening.
Yeah.
And it's like in those types of situations, it bothers me because I just don't understand. And I just want to understand, like, what is this about?
But what do you want to understand for the beneficial reason of to correct it and not do it again, or just to have closure?
I think it's two things. Number one, closure, because I think closure is important, regardless of whether you've been wronged, you're right, whatever it is. I think it's always good to have closure to every situation, honestly.
Yeah.
And number two, it's just my desire to be a good human. Like, if I have a character flaw that causes negative things to happen to people or whatever, then I want to be self-aware of that, whether it's something I can actually change or not. That's a different story.
Yeah.
But, I feel like you should be self-aware, and at the end of the day, none of us are perfect.
No.
All of us have our issues and our character flaws, regardless of how we portray ourselves on the internet.
Yeah.
We're all imperfect. So I guess it's really not grudges. It's more of like just trying to take this year to let go of anger and sadness. And
But
pain.
a grudge does come as a result of not having closure.
Absolutely.
And having that, and it's happened to me, online and offline, from my 15-year existence online, and just whatever in life, but where an agreement to disagree turns into just
done. Well, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
I've always in the past been like that type of person where I'll just cut you. I don't want to face those hard feelings.
Right.
And I have been that person before. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take you off Facebook, take you off Instagram, take you off everything. Like, I'm just going to walk away. But then what really opened my eyes was this friend a couple years ago who did that to me, who just cut me out. It started to open my eyes that I don't want to be that type of person.
Yeah.
And, sometimes I see myself behaving in those ways, and it's like, how do I get to a place where I don't naturally do that?
I mean, I think for me, when I've decided to just, even though it wasn't like a hostile conversation that ended, it was, a civil one, there comes a time when you look back on it and realize that you may be in a very different place as a person than that other person.
Correct.
You don't wish them any harm, you wish them well, and there's a lot of people in my life that I do wish well, and I hope they're doing well. I honestly do, and I think about them often. I do. In my day-to-day life, I'll be like, I wonder how this person's doing, I wonder how that person's doing. Because there's no ill feeling. It's just I realized that we're in very two different mindsets and places in our lives, and I would rather move on and move on with that person not in my circle.
I think that it's like one of those things that I feel like everything's a season. I don't think anything lasts forever.
No, I agree.
Some things we're lucky enough that they last, a physical lifetime. Nothing lasts forever. Some friends are just for seasons. Sometimes marriages are just for a season. Everything has its time and its place.
Yeah.
But sometimes when you're used to somebody or you're used to a situation, even if you've known it's kind of played out its season, it's hard to let those things go. And I'm someone who doesn't necessarily like change.
Right.
As you know, I'm not someone who likes change. So when someone's trying to change something up, I'm like, okay, what's going on here?
Yeah.
And it's just a conversation I haven't heard a lot of people talk about. And I just wonder how people cope with those type of feelings.
Yeah. How does your spiritual practice even go into those feelings? Because everybody deals with it in life.
Well,
These are just life issues.
I mean, for me, it's been more of prayer and healing work within myself rather than trying to
expedite them from the situation.
Yes, or trying to push them out or any type of crossing work. It's more of trying to heal myself to get to a place where those things don't bother me.
Yeah.
But I think that that's a merriment between the mundane, physical, emotional, and also the spiritual, like witchcraft practice part. I mean, they intertwine, but it's like a balancing act.
Yeah.
That I'm still trying to figure out of like how
do you get over
that?
caring? How do you get over caring?
Yes.
Yeah. Like, yeah, how do you get over just not giving a fuck?
How do you just say, like, I wish you well, I wish you love, peace, and fully mean it?
Yeah.
And then not walk away still bothered.
Spiteful. Yeah.
Yes,
and
or bothered by
honestly, like, there's only a handful of people I've done that with in my life where I've said, you know, I honestly, from the heart, actually really genuinely wish you well and think about you often, hope that your life is going well and things are going out for you and you're having a good, healthy, productive life. And really mean it. There's only a handful of people I've actually done that with where I'm like, I really mean this, but, you know, and I wish the best for you, but I, as a person in my life, cannot have you in my life. And it's not an easy thing to do because you have to find a place where you're okay and you're happy for them. And you do actually care about them. It's just you care about yourself more.
Right, for your own mental
where
health.
I cared about myself more, my mental health and where I was in life, and I just basically looked at it as this person is a good person, but not for my circle.
Not for me.
Not
together,
for me.
we're not good
right.
together.
And I've said,
that makes sense.
You know, I've said, hey, you know, the best of luck to you, and I really, really meant it.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not an easy thing. It's not an easy thing to do.
It's really not. It really isn't.
Yeah.
But, well, I want you guys to write in the comments or make a video response to this talking about, like, letting go of anger or grudges or just that pain. If you have any advice, please, I would love to hear it. It's, you know, it's one of those things that I like to conversate privately, but I wanted to bring it to YouTube just because we could all use some healing, and coming out of COVID-19 and, the whole lockdown and everything. 2020 was a fucking crazy year.
It was.
And it rolled into 2021, and, I think we could all do for some healing.
Yeah.
So, join the conversation. I look forward to hearing what you guys have to say.
All right.
So, until next time, bye, Glitter Witches.
Bye, guys.